my video off as well, just to belt and braces with the old internet. Okay, let me make sure I've got the right.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
All good?
Yeah.
Okay. Right on cue, my puppy's just started crying outside the door, so I'll just let him in. He shouldn't be too much of a pain. There we go. Okay, well, morning all, and thanks again for your time today. I'm trying not to repeat too much of what we. Sorry, 1 second.
Never worked with children and animals. Potentially, I guess in this day and age, we could have both on a session, couldn't we? So away you go, Paul.
I'm back. Yeah, they're similar topics, but I'll try not to repeat myself too much. So, my name's Paul Shepherd, and I'm the CEO and founder of WeBuildBots, WBB for short. And I was going to spend 15 minutes or so talking about digital assistants, how councils are using them to improve citizen engagement, freeing up agents' resource, offering around-the-clock support for citizens, and I'll look at how some of our customers are leveraging the technology. Very quickly though, who are we? We're a service and process automation company. We're helping public sector organisations deliver better, faster, cheaper access to the services and information that they provide. This is us, 16 so far, mostly developers, data scientists, conversational designers, and sales and marketing people. We're working predominantly with customers within local governments, but we also do some work across transport, education, and the utility sectors. There are around about 600,000 citizens using our chatbots at the moment, and we processed about 3 million messages for those people. As well as providing these digital assistants or chatbots, we also collect, analyze, and visualize the user data to help our customers embark upon a journey of continuous kind of service improvement. So a lot of the stuff that the previous talk has touched on, really kind of using that data to refine the journeys, understand what you're doing right, understand what you're doing wrong, and improve on an iterative basis. So our customers, here's some of them, predominantly, as I say, across local governments, some in education, transport, utilities too. And I've included those that sit outside of local government just because there may be some use cases that you may be able to draw some inspiration from. We chose these sectors because they represented the biggest opportunity for improvement when it comes to customer service, as seen by this customer frustration index that was produced by a company called My Clever Agency. You can see utilities, local government, transport all ranking pretty highly in terms of difficulty to deal with. And it's no wonder we're frustrated incredibly, and this isn't based on people trying to contact their local authorities. This is just in general, according to a survey done by a company called Sharp and CX. We spend 43 days of our lives on hold, which is it's almost unbelievable, but I've kind of verified the facts, and there's a few similar statistics out there, so I don't think it's a million miles away, and I kind of think it's frightening. We look at it this way: we've got our life, so our work, our kids' clubs, socializing, chilling out, watching TV, and then we have life admin, insurance renewals, MOTs, council tax, all the stuff we have to do as opposed to the stuff we want to do. And I think it's fair to say that the contact we make with our local authority is usually related to life admin, the stuff we have to do as opposed to the stuff that we want to do. Traditionally though, and again, things have changed significantly, and I appreciate that there are lots of kind of 24/7 contact centers, extended hours contact centers, but traditionally we all work 9 to 5. which makes it hard to do the life admin, because that's also the kind of the hours that many local authority contact centres open and close. As I say, appreciate that's not the case across the board. But either way, citizens don't really want to be dictated. Citizens and customers don't want to be dictated to regarding when they get in touch, and indeed what channel, through which channel they get in touch. So this is a graph showing digital assistant or chatbot interaction data from one of our local authorities, and we've drawn a line kind of between 9 and 5, 9 and 4, 4:30, and you can see that people start getting in touch from 6 a.m. and they stop getting in touch around about 8 p.m. There's going to be some outliers there as well, so there's going to be people trying to get in touch beyond those hours, but I think the clear message is it's not 9 to 5. They're not the favoured hours really for people to get in touch with their local authorities. So it's not surprising that 24-hour service, so around the clock service, ranks highest when citizens were asked what they'd expect from a chatbot or a digital assistant. And there are some other expectations for bots as well. Quite high up is being able to contact a human, which I know we've touched upon quite a lot, resolving complaints quickly, paying bills, and these are all entirely doable through digital assistants. Which brings me on really to some of the use cases we're seeing with our local authority customers. The only limitations to what a digital assistant can do really relates to the ability to integrate with third-party systems. A digital assistant is just that really. It can answer questions, but it can go and fetch information for you. And if APIs are readily available for the systems that you need to get that information from, then digital assistants are there to push and pull information to and from these systems to execute all sorts of tasks that would, normally take a long phone call or an email. So I'll just run through some of the scenarios. So West Berkshire are using a digital assistant to help people book and get reminders about library. I say books, but I think a lot of the time it's CD-ROMs and other kind of digital assets now from libraries. We're just starting a piece of work with Havering Council, where people can challenge or pay their PCNs or their parking charge notices. West Berkshire again are using a digital assistant to understand which car park in town has the most spaces and make sure that people can kind of spend less time on the roads looking for spaces. And then waste collection. So when's my bin day? These are fairly standard use cases, but also reporting the fact that your bin hasn't been collected. Again, this can all be done autonomously. Booking tip appointments, which is something we've seen a lot of during lockdown since municipal tips reopened. Information on bin day, I've already touched on that. Then checking housing balance, reporting street repairs. So you can see there's a lot of use cases, and they're all entirely possible, and we're doing all of them right now. So I think we do encourage people to start small, and I'm probably skipping ahead here, but start small, but think big. Prove the business case and test and learn. But really, the sky is the limit in terms of how effective and how functional these digital assistants can be. And again, these would normally be things that you might do via a phone call or an email. Phone calls and emails are not just a bit frustrating. They can take a long time. You're not really sure when you're going to get a response to your email. But our analysis of, and again, some of you will have seen this kind of stuff from Tuesday, but We took call data from about 30 local authorities, totaling around about 2 million calls, threw up these kind of statistics. So the average handling times are around about 5 minutes. Cost to serve these calls, so cost per call minute for a fully loaded agent, taking into account salaries, desk space, software, shrinkage. It's about £1 per call minute. So it's fairly simple kind of maths that tell us a mid-sized authority taking around about 100,000 calls a year, it'll cost them about £500,000 to service those calls. So again, it's not just a frustrating channel for citizens. Again, take the point that some people do want to speak to someone. There's lots of things that contribute to the kind of channel that someone uses. Even so, telephony, whilst it's the most popular channel still, it's also regularly cited as the most frustrating channel, and it's expensive. So deflecting some of these kind of phone calls into automated channels can lead to not just a better kind of citizen experience, but it can save considerably some of the costs, whether that be time or money for local authorities. And I said that we were working across some other sectors. So again, there may be some examples here that you could apply to local authorities. But some of our utility customers are facilitating the submission of meter readings, people requesting duplicate bills. So a common one is people needing a duplicate bill for mortgage applications. Typically, if they're anything like me, they'd be rummaging around an old drawer trying to dig out a utility bill to prove address or something like this. Well, they can now request that through the digital assistant, and then submitting repair requests, booking appointments, reporting issues. You can see the scope and the capabilities are quite far-reaching, as long as you've got the systems and the APIs or the ability to integrate with those systems. So again, I encourage our clients to start with the art of the possible, really, and that helps to get people excited. It then needs peering back and looking at what is truly possible. But I would say in the first instance, kind of let your imaginations run wild, and then work back from there. And there are huge efficiencies to be gained deployed internally as well. So according to one poll, around about 26% of our time is wasted on repetitive administrative tasks. ONS places the average salary at about £38,000 a year. So a 50-person organisation is potentially hemorrhaging about £500,000 through inefficient processes that digital assistants can absolutely help to achieve. So there's a myriad of applications inside of the organisation. These are some of the departments that we're helping to execute tasks for. So you can see internal recruitment's quite a good one, policy information, and then fairly standard stuff, password resets, requesting software. This is really good for new starters, helping to onboard new starters through a digital assistant. Whistleblowing and escalations, the anonymity of digital assistants and people being able to use those anonymously is quite a good use case. And sometimes if someone's thinking of leaving and they want to understand how many holidays they've accrued, for example, then it's not always something they want to go and ask HR about at that stage. So yeah, the I always struggle to say it, the anonymous nature of digital assistants is quite an interesting use case. And then PO requests, information on projects and contracts, whole range of areas that digital assistants can help internally. Shameless plug, we're soon to launch a product that combines conversational AI and RPA to really create a kind of ultimate digital assistant capability. So I'd be remiss not to throw that in. But ultimately, again, those that were here Tuesday, kind of our mantra is this: let our bots do the ordinary, so your teams can do the extraordinary. And it's summed up beautifully by Matt Scarpello over at West Berkshire. I think he talks about being able to handle issues around mental health, addiction, dependency, because digital assistants and chatbots are removing the high volume, low value interactions and subsequently giving his team members the time to really focus on the people that need support. So hopefully that's given you some food for thought. Again, following on from all of that, and much of this has been touched upon in the previous talk, but understand your use cases, look at the data, look at your transcribed calls, look at your internal emails, social media posts. That will tell you what people want and therefore what you can automate. Kind of think big, but we always say start small. So pair those art of the possible scenarios down into one or two areas and build out from there. Make sure you do have the APIs. We've got quite far down projects before, and then customers haven't realized that they actually had to pay additional fees for APIs from their suppliers. So make sure you've got that. Make sure you've got the ability to hand over to an agent and furnish that agent with all the information they need if they are taken over from a call. You don't want the citizen repeating themselves or getting further frustrated. Keep assessing that data, keep iterating. So as I say, choose one area and build that business case. And to do that, we always recommend creating a baseline of interactions about that topic. So if it's waste collection, for example, look at your call volumes, look at your email volumes, look at your web forms, use that as a baseline, and then try to correlate between the digital assistant chatbot usage and hopefully a decline in number of interactions through the non-automated channels, and use that and then build out from a solid start. Yeah, can't stress that enough. Really focus on one area and try and nail that, and then use those learnings and build out from there. And then finally, just because this is a mission of ours, I appreciate there's some non-Welsh authorities on here, but I think this could work for any cluster of organisations. We are on a mission to build a network of digital assistants that bring in not just local authority information, but key services around health, transport, housing, education, utilities. We believe that by creating this one front door that any citizen can go to and get the information that they need, we can save about 4,000 hours a year per authority, which could equate to about £250,000 or about £5.5 million across the whole of Wales. And we know that we're short on time, we're short on funds. So imagine if that time and that money could be dedicated to serious frontline services like social care, housing, etc. So yeah, we'd love to see any of the Welsh authorities kind of reach out and join the neighbourhood. And that's it from me, and I really hope the Wi-Fi stood up.
No, it did. It was brilliant. Yeah, certainly stood up.